36 Tasmanians were killed on our roads last year. 284 were seriously injured. These numbers need to change. Incidents can happen in a matter of seconds on the road. We've all been there, but we shouldn't have to be. We all have a part to play. We can all spread the road safety message and learn from each other's experiences.
About 2 or 3 weeks ago, I planned to head back to Strawn in the afternoon from Hobart.
It was a morning very similar to that I have every morning.
I was coming back from South Hobart heading to Moona at about just after midnight.
On this day, I got distracted by work and things to do and ended up not leaving Hobart until nearly 6 o'clock in the afternoon.
Left for work probably about 10 minutes earlier than I would. The main reason for leaving a bit earlier was it was a rainy morning.
I was slowing the van down to roll it to stop at the traffic lights.
Got around about an hour to an hour and a half out of Hobart and started to feel a little bit tired, but still didn't feel too bad. I thought I was probably okay, but then I looked down and I could see how slowly I was actually travelling.
Stopped at the traffic lights, and when the light went green, took off very cautiously, as I always do at traffic lights, but very quickly out of the corner of my left hand eye realised that the car in the left lane was quickly approaching me. Before I knew it, had crashed into the left hand side of my passenger side of the car.
There was a white maxi taxi to my left hand side. The light changed green. I just tapped the accelerator. 2 young girls ran straight out in front from behind the maxi taxi out in the front of the van.
I found somewhere safe to pull over. It was still bright, sunshiny sort of evening. I must have been much more tired than I realised because I fell asleep straight away to the point where I didn't even get a chance to put the alarm on the phone to wake me up.
Couldn't believe that had happened on such a slow intersection, travelling at such low speed, but the impact itself was quite significant. So definitely that initial impact shook me. Whilst I was okay physically, certainly emotionally wasn't okay.
To avoid the accident, I swerved to miss them. There was no other traffic around at the time. By the time it was all over, I ended up pulling up outside the Grand Chancellor, shaking.
When I woke up, I got a shock. I woke up and it was pitch black dark and 2 hours had gone past. I've been asleep for a lot longer than I should be, and when you do that, you know that you've probably not been going too well. So I did manage to make the rest of the journey to Strawn safely, but I did have to stop a couple more times between where I was and Strawn to get there in one piece. Benefit of hindsight, I should have stayed the night where I was in Hobart and decided not to make that trip back.
Once that initial shock wore off, I think more than anything I was quite relieved that my son wasn't in the car with me, because for myself, as I said, it was quite an emotional experience. So having a 6-year-old in the car go through that, I think could have been a lot worse.
The best things are get a good night's sleep, have a break every 2 hours, and if you see the warning signs, and that can be getting restless, your speed's all over the place, you're winding the window down, you want to turn the radio up or turn the music up. If you're doing any of those things, pull over and have a break. A lot of these fatigue related crashes happen when you're nearly at home, because you think you just push on, you think I'm nearly there, I'll just keep going. Don't do that. Stop, have a break for 20 minutes and then make that last little trip home.
Just look straight into the camera. Maybe? Yeah. Alright.
I was riding to work on one morning. As I entered a roundabout, I was already in the roundabout and I was coming through, I was going straight.
I was riding from Hobart to the northern suburbs.
I'm a volunteer firefighter with a rural brigade.
A driver didn't see me. I was on my push bike and they sort of hit me from the side as I was already in the roundabout.
I had a truck like full on cut me off.
When the pager goes off, it's never a great feeling when you see that it's a motor vehicle crash, particularly when it's a road crash rescue, which means that potentially somebody is trapped in their vehicle and could be seriously injured.
I took out their mirror, scraped down the side of their car and bent a bit of my bike up. Luckily I was mostly fine. I had some bruised ribs and stuff.
I did have to slam on my brakes and I did toot my horn and threw my arm up but even still they wouldn't have seen me.
The majority of the crashes that I have personally attended have been caused by the Fatal Five, primarily people speeding or under the influence of drugs and or alcohol.
The guy who'd hit me stopped on the other side of the roundabout, pulled over and came to see if I was okay. He was pretty shaken up as well. I don't think he realised that he just hadn't checked properly.
It obviously gets you really anxious and, you know, think what could have happened if you weren't actually paying attention, if you'd seen something on the side of the road or if there was another car kind of coming from a different angle.
You can be doing everything right in your vehicle, but you can't control what other people around you are doing.
It doesn't matter if I'm in the right, I'll still die if I got hit, potentially.
If everyone in a car was to jump on a motorbike for a day and just experience how we feel vulnerable every day, then I think, yeah, everyone would be a lot more cautious around us.
The amount of times I see eyes down, not looking up and aware of what's oncoming to them is quite frightening. Please be aware of your surroundings, be vigilant, and yeah, drive to the conditions.
Be mindful on the road that it's not just blinkers on when you're driving and looking what's in front of you, it's what's around you as well, because things happen in the blink of an eye and it can change everyone's life forever.
Modern cars are so much safer than they used to be, but they're still limited by the laws of physics. You're travelling at 100 kilometres an hour and you hit another car, people will die. It's not an if but, or maybe. It doesn't matter how many airbags it's got in it, what technology it's got in it. If you hit another car at that speed, your chances of survival are very low. The impact, if you've ever known anyone that's been killed or seriously injured in a crash that I have, it stays with you forever. Yeah, don't do it.